JC, let him talk. Back with another video, man. Yeah, everything that went down with 2023 Warriors.
The Warrior season has officially come to its conclusion. The dramatic, drawn-out, up-and-down season for the Warriors is officially over. Now that we're here, I want to take a deeper dive into what really went wrong with such a promising-looking team 7-8 months ago. Last year, they surprised pretty much everyone and won an NBA championship. And this year, they barely got into the playoffs, and once they did, they resembled a team that barely got into the playoffs. So again, what exactly happened?
Warriors for his altercation with Jordan Poole. The Warriors are still in the process of disciplining Green for the incident in which sources say he threw a punch, but Meyer said he does not expect him to miss any games due to punishment.
Here's what changes things.
Bro, do y'all think Poole really forgave Draymond after that punch? Bro, I feel like Poole deep down did not forgive him for that punch. I don't know, we obviously don't know what happens behind doors, because we really don't know what happens behind doors and stuff like that when they're practicing. You know what I'm saying? When they're within their personal selves, Poole deadass has some resentment towards Draymond, and that right there messed up the chemistry of the team. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, when have you ever just punched your brothers, bro? Real talk, you feel me? I know brothers fight and stuff like that, but bro, that punch that Draymond gave him, bro. If a normal person took that punch, that person would have been in the hospital, bro. Real talk.
We see it. Okay, whenever tape is involved and you see or hear it, it always makes the situation worse.
Yes. And that's the crazy part too, because back then, you know what I'm saying, when Jordan, Bird, the Chamberlains back then, there wasn't really cameras like that. There was a lot of NBA fights in the 80s. A lot. Bro, I might do a video on that. I ain't gonna lie, I might react to that. Y'all let me know. There was a lot of fights in the 80s. And bro, there wasn't cameras, you know what I'm saying? But now there's cameras, you feel me? There's cameras everywhere, bro. You can't really do certain shit because there's just cameras everywhere. You could be recorded, and then once it's out, it's out.
We can't pretend like the Draymond Green Jordan Poole incident wasn't really the first crack in what seemed like such a tight
bro, look at that. I can't really see it because it's so blurry, but bro, that punch that he did was just so it's like this man wanted to
when we first
end this
got
nigga's
the
life,
that Draymond punched Jordan, it felt like something slight. I remember the footage released of Jordan Poole shooting hours after the incident happened, and it felt like, okay, the punch couldn't have been that bad. But then the footage leaked, and the whole outlook on what felt like originally boys being boys, or specifically Draymond being Draymond, it felt completely different. We knew Poole's family, friends, loved ones all saw that, and there was no way the relationship could just continue after a punch that significant releasing to the public. Draymond also didn't get a real punishment. He pretty much just stepped away from the team and got a fine, and that felt a little weird as well. I guess to make up for it to some extent, at least for Jordan's sake, the man did get paid. Maybe part of what looks to be a massive overpay now.
And from that, he got complacent. 140 mil. He had a pretty decent season. I can't lie. He had a decent season. But the playoffs, Jordan Poole, I don't know what you was doing, man.
Was for Golden State to prove to Jordan how valuable they view him. Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins simultaneously got massive deals, which seemed to be great for their future at that specific time. Both players were crucial in their previous championship pursuit, but it did raise immediate questions about their core.
Wiggins.
What does this mean for Draymond, essentially on the last year of his deal, and how will this team maintain the future while still trying to retain the core?
Hold on, Draymond getting paid how much?
And how will this team maintain the future while still trying
27 million?
To retain the core? It's crazy because Draymond actually hinted at this problem really before it became Golden State's reality. Even before the championship season last year, he talked about how the mix of old players and young players have never proven to win an NBA championship. Well, last season they did it, but the inevitable problem that brewed eventually showed its ugly head this year. The Warriors started their season out extremely rocky, 3 games below 500 in the first 15 games of the year, losing their first 8 games on the road. It's crazy because how their season actually started was a good representation of how their season ultimately ended. Steph was averaging 33 on the most ridiculous splits, and outside of him and Wiggins, they really didn't have any help. Jordan Poole, after getting that contract, he regressed significantly. Klay Thompson was a walking brick, and the bench.
Yes, bro. Klay was missing so many shots in the playoffs, man. Like, bro, like the series with the Lakers, man. Like I think he did very well in games 2, 3, and 4. But after that, bro, man scored like 9, 10, and 11, bro. Like Klay, what are you doing, bro?
It was laughably bad. Also, they came out as one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA, which, if you watch the Warriors in the past, even in the beginning stages, they were built on how solid they were defensively. So this was extremely abnormal. Also, their young players, specifically James Wiseman. The Warriors not being able to develop this man for whatever reason, or at least get back real compensation for a second overall pick, that set this organization back big time. With the Warriors, James Wiseman just looked like an overgrown high schooler that you just stuck in the middle of the Warriors dynasty. James, for whatever reason, just couldn't grasp the speed of the NBA. And
I didn't think James Wiseman was that bad of a player. Like, I just feel like they should have took more time with him. I don't know, because like when I seen Kevon Looney getting more minutes, Kevon Looney he was good, but I don't know. They should have put a little more trust in James Wiseman. I feel like eventually he would have progressed into the player that he could have became.
Mainly how the Warriors' culture, offensively and defensively, operated. Net rating, terrible. Offensively, terrible. Defensively, terrible. Rebound percentage, terrible. In every which way, he was dragging down a team in pursuit of their 5th championship. So eventually, they felt like they had to let him go.
They had to let him go.
Mind you, at the time, a 21-year-old, 7-foot, second overall pick. They got back Gary Payton, who they already had, in 2 seconds.
Bro, this dude was one of the best defensive players for the Warriors, bro. I don't know why they traded this man, bro. This was a bad trade right here.
A massive fumble. Also, the weird, strange Andrew Wiggins absence saga at the tail end of the season, I also believe that hurt him. I love Draymond, but I believe last year, Andrew Wiggins...
Yeah, the Andrew Wiggins one, like, it was something about his wife, but I don't know, that I heard that was a rumor, like, so whatever it was, bro, like, that also ruined the Warriors' chances of winning a championship this year. I'm not gonna hold you, like... And it's crazy because I give the Warriors credit because the fact that they lasted this long in the playoffs with all this drama throughout the season, like, I don't know, like, imagine if they didn't have the drama, like, that happened. They probably could have, you know, ended up winning against LeBron and, you know, in the conference finals.
Wiggins had kind of taken that spot as their most valuable two-way player. In a wing league, especially in last year's playoffs, he was their best wing defender, and offensively, he could stretch the floor, and he was one of their only players that could create off the dribble when the system kind of broke down a bit. With Andrew leaving in the midst of already Steph being gone, he was literally recovering from an injury when Andrew left. That just hurt the flow of a team already trying to find its groove mid-season. Then, for me, the turnovers with this team. Now, historically, this has always been a team that struggled taking care of the ball. Even in their glory days, they struggled with turnovers and stuff like that. So it's not anything new per se. But in the past, when they struggled taking care of the ball, they were one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they had one of the most potent offenses in the league, especially when they had KD. So they had wiggle room to not be perfect because they were perfect literally everywhere else. But this year, with them being average to below average for the majority of the year defensively, and offensively them never quite being the same with Jordan Poole's regression, Klay Thompson's early inconsistencies, and Andrew Wiggins being in and out of the lineup, they didn't have that wiggle room to also be the worst team taking care of the ball. In the playoffs, that trend followed, and every single team there near.
Damn, 14 turnovers? Sheesh. I mean, as a team, is that bad as a team? No, it's definitely bad because they're the third most turnovers in the playoffs, but damn, bro, 14?
Here at the top of turnovers per game, they're exactly with Golden State at home. So even for a team like Golden State, it's extremely hard to overcome a situation where you're turnover prone like they were, foul prone like they were, average defensively like they were, and very stat reliant offensively like they were, and still be a great team. And also, Jordan Poole. I feel for this man because some Golden State fans, they can be sick, greedy, mean-spirited, and this man has been through a lot these last 7-8 months, so I feel for him. But his regression really set this team back. It just did.
No, I did.
It's because this man's contract didn't even start yet, and
look at the jump in this man's $3 million to $28 million, bro. Man, that's some paper, bro. And then every year his contract just goes up and goes up and goes up. Like, that's a huge, huge jump. And that's a lot of money the Warriors invested into him, too.
It looked bad. Defensively, he had one of the worst defensive ratings for this team.
25% Poole?
In the playoffs, he was damn near unplayable for a team that's already thin. It's crazy because when I watch Tyrese Maxey for the Sixers, all I can think about is, damn, he's giving Philly kind of what Golden State got from Jordan Poole last play.
That dude's a bucket. Tyrese Maxey, bucket.
Playoffs, like that spark and that juice, that flashiness that kind of keeps the offense afloat when it dies a bit. That's what Jordan Poole did last playoffs, and this year he's been quite literally the opposite. In fact, if you look at Jordan Poole series by series by series, going back to
Jordan Poole's regression by series. 2022 is like crazy, bro. Oh my goodness, 12 points per game, bro.
To last year's playoffs, he's progressively gotten worse every single playoff series of his entire career. So for me, that Draymond chemistry destroying punch, it really hurt the dynamic of that team. I don't think he was ever quite able to feel comfortable being the soul, the voice, the leader for the young guys specifically, like he would have been if that punch never happened. Also, how bad they were on the road all year, it hurt them in the playoffs. And after the Lakers took game 1, Golden State never quite got back traction, and ultimately it ended them. The lack of development with their young core, that also hurt this team. James Wiseman obviously got traded. Kuminga got doghoused in the playoffs. Jordan Poole regressed. Moses Moody had his moments, but it wasn't enough, and that made them way too Steph or bust. Not having enough valuable, versatile players with size, it just destroyed this team, and it made Steve Kerr have to be way too creative. If he plays Draymond and Looney, he's going to sacrifice offense because they're both not valuable offensive threats. If he doesn't play Looney, he's going to sacrifice the glass. If he doesn't play Draymond, he's going to sacrifice defensively. If he doesn't play, or if he does play Jordan Poole, he's going to sacrifice defensively, but he possibly can get something back offensively. He didn't really get that, but it was just way too many ins and outs in order for him to be creative, and it just was a disaster, man. It was.
And you could tell Steve Kerr's tired of Draymond, bro. Like, there's been so many instances of Steve Kerr like wanting Draymond to like low key, like he was just tired of his crap. And he said this in previous like interviews, in previous like
this video. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this team going forward. Contracts, it's a lot. Jordan Poole's contract didn't even start yet.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, I mean, he can leave after this season. I don't think he will. He said he wanted to be a Warrior for life. Steph's on a mega deal. Clay got 2 more years left. What do you think is going to happen with this team? I think they can bounce back. I don't think it's over like people think. I don't think it is. Follow me on social media sites. Turn on my post notifications. Do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time.
Now, to cap off the video, I don't really see the Warriors winning the championship. I don't know. It's very hard because Draymond, for example, that dude's on to like other things right now. That dude's doing his podcast. He's obviously looking into being some type of analyst or some type of NBA announcer. You know what I'm saying? After he retires, Clay, like after that knee injury, like I just don't see him like being able to come back from that. Because bro, knee injuries, they're one of the worst injuries you could ever like really find hard to come back from. Curry's still gonna be Curry, but he's not gonna win by himself. JC Talks. Peace.